into things and you don't have stupid accidents because you're totally in your body. It's like eating meditation. That's what they mean by that, I think. Jessica Porter interprets traditional Chinese medicine. Okay, your stimulated saliva is what contains digestive enzymes, amylase, maltase, and lingual lipase. Lipase is a fat-busting enzyme. Now, what do you know about digestive enzymes? Did you come here to learn about digestive enzymes? No, but you're gonna get it anyway because they're really fascinating. Have you ever eaten custard or chocolate pudding or something and you put your spoon in it and then you put it back in the fridge because you're being very righteous and abstemious that day, you don't want all of it, and the next time you go to the fridge the next morning, the little divot that the spoon made is filled with liquid? You know, it gets liquidy, the pudding. Anyone ever experienced that? Am I crazy? The liquid is there because the digestive enzymes that you introduced on your spoon after your first taste were so strong that at night they went to work on the pudding. Your digestive enzymes are so powerful. I feel like I'm just doing this wrong. Okay. Don't look at the third one. It's fun. Don't look at it. Don't look. Oh, Jesus. Laundry detergents, until relatively recently, were made with digestive enzymes taken from animals. They are no longer taken from animals. They're actually created by bacteria. But what breaks down the protein stains, the starch stains, the blood stains that you put in the laundry is basically digestive enzymes. That's how powerful they are. And we're just sitting around spitting on stuff, not caring, thinking like, bleh, all I want to do with this stuff is kiss somebody. Well, there's more to it than that. So traditionally, I don't know what I should be pointing at. Art restorers used saliva to clean paintings. Yeah. Works through dirt and oil incredibly well. Now, I have a friend, a new friend, an acquaintance who is an art restorer. And I said, hey, Nicole, I hear that art restorers used to use saliva to clean paintings. And she said, oh, we still do. We still do. That's how powerful your saliva is. So don't go with your attitude today, just like, oh, it's just spit in my mouth. You guys make me crazy. Okay. Your stimulated saliva is naturally alkaline. Who here is drinking alkaline water because we're supposed to keep the pH of our blood at 7.4? Who here is careful to take alkaline foods? All of you know something about this, but did you know that the jade juice, did you know that you produce 2 to 3 pints a day of alkaline substance that works on the complex carbohydrates, causing everything you eat, even if it's mildly acidic, to be alkalized before it is digested? Now, medicine in the last 15 to 20 years has been on this anti-inflammation kick. What causes inflammation? What's one of the great causes of inflammation? What? Sugar, yes, and acid, things that become acidic in the body. That's what causes inflammation. Now, alkalinity is the natural counterpart to acidity, and if we have the capacity to alkalize everything we eat in our mouths, even something like sugar, how is it that we're not using that? How is it that we don't even know that? Inflammation is an underlying factor in almost every chronic disease. What's what they call it when you have like everything wrong right before a heart attack? There's something, metabolic syndrome, you know? High blood pressure, high LDLs, etc., all due to inflammation. Okay, unstimulated saliva. This is the sticky, viscous, protective film. The reason meth addicts, and I know you all are meth addicts, so we're gonna explain some things here. No. The reason, have you ever seen that drug addicts often have really bad teeth? It's sad, it's tragic. One of the reasons that methamphetamine addicts have bad teeth is that their salivary glands stop working on the meth. And once you stop producing unstimulated saliva, your teeth go to hell in a handbasket very quickly. Unstimulated saliva is absolutely critical to the health of your teeth. It literally brings calcium and phosphate into your teeth. So we think like once a tooth is messed up, it's like, oh, that's a goner. And of course, in some situations, that's absolutely true. But our teeth are not this sort of zero-sum equation that just, depletes over time. Our body is continually trying to nourish our teeth again, not just from the inside, but from the outside. And the vehicle is your saliva. Unstimulated saliva has anti-clumping properties. What this means is bacteria in your mouth that collects your unstimulated saliva actually pulls it together, and when you swallow that bacteria and it gets destroyed by the digestive enzymes in your stomach. So your unstimulated saliva is cleaning your mouth. In fact, your unstimulated saliva is so antibacterial and antimicrobial, it really kicks Listerine in the butt. Listerine and other, what are they called, mouthwashes, are only targeted at about half the bacteria in your mouth. But your unstimulated saliva targets all of it. If you've ever been, I went to Senegal about 5 years ago, and people in Senegal don't have regular toothbrushes and toothpaste. They use these little sticks, and people are sort of constantly throughout the day, like picking at their teeth with their sticks. And guess what? They have beautiful teeth. Because what they're depending on, with a more traditional diet than ours, obviously, and people are very thin, they exercise a lot, it's a very healthy culture. They're depending upon the natural, healthy balance in the mouth. And they're just augmenting it, as opposed to trying to bomb it like a nuclear bomb with mouthwash and toothpaste and everything. Unstimulated saliva contains histidines or histatins, I don't know how to pronounce it. Histidines are natural wound closing elements. This is why we lick our wounds. Rodents have in some of their saliva the ability to regrow tissue with their saliva. So this stuff that we just spit on the floor, that we actually denigrate within our language and our culture, is miraculous. And when you take on board what your saliva does and the idea of the 3 inches of personal responsibility, you see that you have the capacity in your own body to do so many things. So I encourage you to start chewing your food. Now, when I said before, I don't care if you're mindful when you chew your food, I mean it. I don't care if you chew your food watching TV. I don't care if you chew your food on the phone with a friend, just listening to them. I don't care if you listen to a podcast or cleaning your house or even in the car. The point is that you're using your molars to beat the crap out of a complex carbohydrate. You're adding the amylase, which is coming from your stimulated saliva, until you have like a slurry of liquid in your mouth. It is gross. It is antisocial. But it will taste sweet by the time it's the slurry of liquid. And when you swallow it, you've actually performed this little miracle in your mouth, which gives you about twice the energy from that food that you would have gotten had you not chewed it, twice the nutrients because you've actually unlocked them in your mouth, and a very beautiful, peaceful rise of blood sugar that causes your brain to feel really peaceful and satisfied. But I want you to start small. Start small means you don't have to chew 50 to 100 times. That's ridiculous. If right now you're wolfing your food, try chewing 15 times. But then I promise you, as you practice, it'll be naturally you'll click into 20, and then 25, and then 30. Aim for 50 to 100 chews per mouthful. That sounds crazy. You're not going to be able to do that when you're eating with other people. This has to be a meal that you conduct on your own. But again, you're like a marathon runner is interested in the full capacity of his or her body, I want you interested in the full capacity of yours, and that means some practice. If you swallow automatically, which we all do, we're trained to do that, and simple carbohydrates like sugar and wine and a lot of the foods that we eat are so easily broken down in the mouth that we tend to swallow them very quickly. I want you to start by tipping your head forward. That will stop that automatic reflex of swallowing or inhibit it. It's helpful sometimes to use like a pickle or some umeboshi plum or something salty in the mouthful. Let's say you're eating brown rice and you throw in a part of an olive, because that saltiness helps to stimulate your stimulated saliva and it'll get it going. And then you have that liquid to help break down that whole grain. By the way, when I say complex carbohydrate, I just want to be clear. Whole grains, vegetables, even flours, especially if they're made of whole grain ingredients, beans. Now, fruit is actually more of a simple carbohydrate. It's difficult to chew fruit. It's difficult to chew anything that's been sweetened with a sweetener. In a way, the process of making the complex carb into the sweetener is the chewing process being done in a factory. Not that that helps you, but it's being broken down prior to meeting your mouth. But one of the best things to practice chewing on is either whole grains or vegetables. I love green beans because they have lots of liquid in them. They're tasty, they're sweet, and they're really good for practicing on. Carrots too. When people are starting chewing, I'm careful to say, I don't expect you to do this perfectly, and if you're really, really hungry, you're not gonna wanna chew. There's something more urgent going on, which is your hunger. So I say to people, when it comes to a meal, the first third of the meal, just wolf it down. I don't care, let it be unconscious.